Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Beccas by the Bay. I'm Becca, and today we're in the kitchen working on our harvest from the garden. So we've got some beautiful cucumbers and peppers, and I'm going to go over a old-time recipe from our Kerr home canning book. This is actually called the Dixie Relish, and mine's a little bit different. It's time to do it again. So we're going to go over, it says 1 pint of sweet red peppers. So I've got a few things from the store just to add some color. And then we've got our homegrown peppers that we're going to throw in the mix. So here we have our, I think this is a quart. I'm doing a quart because I've got a lot going on. So I'm going to do equal parts. So I'm doing, this is a quart. Chopped onions. I'm doing some white and red onions chopped. And then we're doing 1.5 of our cucumbers, and then 1.5 of our chopped peppers. And then all of that's going to get mixed up into a large bowl with 5 spoons of sea salt. And then we're going to mix it really good. And then this is going to sit overnight, covered. So basically rinsed and draws out all the extra moisture. All right, so basically morning, I'm going to drain all of that. Let's see. I said to add 2 hot peppers. I don't have any hot peppers, and I don't like mine super spicy. So if you want to add some the ingredient list down below and what I did here. It says 4 tablespoons of mustard seed. So you're going to double that. So 8 tablespoons of mustard seed. It says 2 tablespoons of celery seeds. So I'm going to double that and put 4 tablespoons. This is a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm going to use organic cane sugar. So I'm going to use a cup of that. And then it says a quart of vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar, or you can use your regular distilled vinegar. I'm going to actually double that because this is a recipe. And that's it. So I'm just going to the only thing I think I added a little bit different was I believe I added some turmeric to this. So I really like it with the turmeric, and I forgot to add that in last year. So I like to do my onions in the food processor because it's a little quicker. I've already peeled them, and I like to just chop them up a little bit smaller so I can get them into the food processor without them like getting stuck. So basically we're kind of doing equal parts. And it said to do cabbage and red peppers and green peppers. We don't like cabbage, and I don't have any, so I basically just kind of used extra cucumbers and extra peppers to fill in that out recipe. And it came out really good. So this ended up getting, it says, so after we drained it, added our spices, you water bath it for 15 minutes in the pint jar up. Processor, and I have it set, tell that far away. I have it set on the thickest setting, and then I'm just going to pulse it. Spatula, stir it down a little bit. This was the worst part of it. I was crying. There we go. So that's done. I'm going to take that out. Got my jar. texture, then I will just chop it a little bit more. So that's about that. So I'm going to dunk that in. So I have one more chunky. One more chunky. One. See how much I got left on my end. I got a lot of cucumbers. So I ended up with another extra half. So you could put all this in the food processor. I did find that it was a little bit when I went to use this was a little finer than I would have liked. So I'm hand chopping the rest of my peppers and my cucumbers. So that's what I'm going to do now. Is just give you a little tip on your cucumbers. You definitely want to trim off the ends. So both ends, I'll show you. I'm going to trim off both ends because this will make it a little bit more bitter, and you don't want that. So that's going to go to our chickens. Just chop those off. We got plenty of cucumbers, so I'm not going to worry about feeling like I didn't get to use all my cucumbers up. We've got plenty. So basically, I'm just cutting it in half and half again. And this one looked okay. And we're just gonna slice it down the center, get it all together, and then just give it a nice chop through. Not super small, but not super big either. Just to really whatever size you feel like chopping them up to. If you wanted to in the food processor, it'll go a lot quicker. But I just felt like I wanted a more chunky texture this go around. So and then just fill. So it's really easy. Anyone can do it. You don't need still equipment other than your canning jars, lids, and you don't need a pressure canner for this. So you can use any old big stock pot that you have available, or maybe borrow one from a friend if they've got a really big stock pot, or two. You probably need at least two. I really like making it look pretty with the different. It does have a little bit of a different flavor, I think. Colors, maybe that's just me. Let me know if you think they taste different too. Definitely think they have a little bit of a different flavor, maybe a little sweeter. Day ahead of time, and then you're going to water bath it after adding all your spices the next day. And let them cool off and wipe them down with some rubbing alcohol or soapy water on the outside of your jars, label them, and put them up in your pantry. My husband got a used carport that he had, and he made a trellis with that in the backyard this year for cucumbers, and that was really fun. Cucumbers, got lots of cucumbers. Don't forget to cut off your ends. You don't want in there. It's going to make it like pickles. When you do your pickles, you don't want the tops on because it will make your pickles soggy and more bitter. So you want when you're making pickles, you want the tops and bottoms off as well. So just a few tips and tricks from our kitchen to your kitchen. And a really, really nice old-timey recipe that works out great. I love to put this in my turkey salad. I love to put it in my tuna fish. It also recommends putting it, using it. It says it's a great filling for stuffed mango peppers, which sounds amazing. So I'm not sure where it is in the recipe book here, but I'll have to check that out. Got one jar here. And again, I'm not doing cabbage, so I'm actually adding just extra cucumbers. And another tip about growing peppers in the garden is they do really good with some shade. So we've got partial shade in our garden, and they do longer to grow than our friends did. But ours are hanging, and the heat index has been 100 something. So our peppers are still looking good. Picked this up probably at like TJ Maxx or Ross or something like that, and I just keep resharpening it, and it works out really good. That's right. I think it's a German. I can't remember brand. I use it. I love it. Yeah, I need at least 2 of these with 2 peppers. Okay, 2 of these with 2 peppers. I do find that the cucumbers are a lot easier to chop up than the peppers. There's a beet relish in here too, and a pepper relish. Those are really good too. I like those recipes. So I'm making one now, so I don't forget what I did. I'll have it as a future reference. More. Got more cucumbers here than I thought. I don't have the onions or peppers to match what I have. Okay. Pickles. Cucumbers. So our peppers, you just want to make sure you're getting all your seed in your membrane out. And I usually just kind of if you guys have some recipes that you're using with your peppers and cucumbers, if you found something online that you thought was a really fabulous recipe, share it down below. It might help somebody. It might help me. I might try a new recipe. But I thought this one went pretty good. Again, you're just gonna fill it up. It's hard to always, guesstimate how many pepper it takes to fill my jar because they're different sizes. So you might write down on your recipe, oh, it only took me, 6 peppers, but they might have all been like really small, or they might have been medium. So I find that I'm a little more consistent when I stick to just measuring like that. Pepper seeds everywhere. It is a very, very easy recipe. I love the old books. I found mine online on eBay from some. There's always some floating around that people are finding and they don't need or don't use, and got them last year at a really great price. So I don't know what they are going for right now. And then I did notice that the recipes in the original ones, these are from I think the 1970s, are different than the recipes that the Ball book has out today. So the new one that you buy, the recipes are not quite the same, and they don't come out tasting like what I grew up remembering when we had a garden and our family did all this canning and preparation. So I really do like the original recipes. Get to this. What's my time? 21 minutes. All right, so I'm just going to finish filling my jar up 2 times because I haven't filled it up yet. So I need 2 of these, and then got some sea salt here. So I'm going to do 5 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Stir that in. And you can just cover this with some parchment paper, a towel, or saran wrap, or they have that stretchy canvas one. And then I'll show you guys what we do with that in the morning. Get to finishing chopping that up, but I will show you guys our trellis that we did. I can, sorry, don't have a GoPro or any of that. Bring it out here and show you some of the garden. So here's some of the garden back here. We've got a hoop house here with some fig trees. We got our stock tank pool that we put in. Here's our rain catchment. And then we just had a small row of some peppers here. We've got our okra pulled up, and we got